So on the audio files you've had Rolly send, I've been turning them into videos with the following images. This is an official off White House bulletin. That's pretty cool. I gotta say, that's very cool. Thank you, Matt. Um, Talk about when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. Speaking of no phono, April C sent in, "Hi Matt, have you guys considered ham radio? I believe you do have to be certified to operate it, but it would give Dave a line of communication without the internet. God bless April C." Thank you, April. Matt says, "I did have a guy who was part of the local ham radio club, but I think they got kicked out of the place they used, and I don't have Alan Moore's BJ and the Bear 1982 annual article on CB radio slang, so I don't know what 1037 means. Plus, where the hell does Dave get a ham radio? And is that even kosher?" That's an interesting question. We should maybe punt that one to Menachem Lukens at Escape Pod Comics. Are ham radios kosher? Well, maybe you might want to call it something else. Yeah, maybe we might. Um, It'll be interesting to see. I have trouble believing that I'm the only person who's deeply suspicious of the internet. You know, it's fine if I'm going to a public place and using the public Wi-Fi, where you have to agree to all of their terms as to what you're going to look at and what you're not going to look at. I'm fine with that. That seems to me a very we the people kind of thing. We the people, where the internet is publicly accessible, these are the boundaries that we have set up around it. Letting the internet into your house, that's Wild West time. It's like I would have to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, you have a mechanism attached to the inside of the house that has this on it, and this on it, and this on it, and this on it, and this on it. You wouldn't have to get very far down that list before you'd be going, I'd have to be taking showers constantly just to try and feel as clean as possible and not as unclean as I would be feeling all of the time. But it is one of those, well, okay, if I start having a heart attack or if I start having a stroke and I don't have a telephone, how in the hell am I going to let people know that I'm having a heart attack or a stroke? It seems to me that I would just have to do the best I could trying to crawl out the front door and down the front steps and just try and flag down a passerby and go, excuse me, could you phone 911? I'm having a heart attack or I'm having a stroke. There are mechanisms that you can carry. Old people who are not, it's kind of borderline whether they should even be living alone or not. Just from a logistics standpoint, they fall over a lot, kind of thing. Uma, who used to live across the street, she's dead now. She was in that category, and she had something that she carried with her, and anytime that she fell over as opposed to sitting down somewhere in the apartment, then it would notify emergency services, you have to go over and check on her. And they would go over and check on her, and sure enough, she'd fallen over and hadn't been able to get up. I'm willing to bet that you have to have the internet to have that. Is there something like that where you don't have the internet? Until we have a clear answer to that, I promise to do my best to do my duty, not to have a heart attack or a stroke, but no promises. What do you got? And And I connected with Ralph Reese on Facebook. So if you have any questions about working with Wally Wood on Heroes Incorporated Presents Canon #1, let me know. Yeah, anything, I would say if you wouldn't mind asking Mr. Reese, um, if that just triggers any memories for him. I'm sure that if he worked on that book or he was regularly in the studio uh, working with Wally Wood or was semi-regularly working, either on his way in or on his way out as an assistant. Um, Anything that he remembers of how this worked, and did Wally Wood even talk about how this was going to work in terms of this is how I'm going to make money off of this. This is the arrangement I'm trying to get set up with the PXs. I don't know how much of that he would have talked about with any of his assistants, but there's no harm in asking while his assistants are still here. Um, if you also wouldn't mind asking Ralph Reese um, if he ever does commission drawings of the two characters that were in 1 Year Affair that he did in the funny pages in the back of National Lampoon, which was one of my favorite strips. It ran for about a year, and it was from the start of a relationship to the end of a relationship. And personal opinion, I thought it was brilliant, and it was one of the funny page strips that I always looked forward to when I got the new Nat lamp when it came out on the newsstands. I would whatever he's charging for commissions these days, I would definitely like to commission him to do the heads of the two characters. I don't remember their names, but I can picture them very, very vividly. I'd also say that when I met Ralph Reese, and I don't know where I met him, I was at a convention somewhere, and I thought, wow, usually cartoonists don't look like their drawings, but Ralph Reese really looks like a Ralph Reese character. I have never seen that before. A very, very unique form of comic art metaphysics. Okay, that'll do it for pre-hold for Dave Sim. On to please hold for Dave Sim momentarily.